Today is about the power of you. You will change the world.
You're listening to the Chronicles of Living podcast.
Do the damn thing.
Where we talk to visionary dreamers like you about living their best life.
Fulfill the highest, truest expression of yourself.
It's time to step into the past, present, and future with an open and healthy mind. Let's go! Now let's talk.
Greetings, my visionary dreamers. How is everybody doing on Let's Talk Sunday? This is ADionne, your dream pusher, your lifeguard, saving you from yourself, from the world, from some real bullshit. And you are tuned into Chronicles+of+livin podcast show, the show for everyday people doing everyday things, living everyday life. You know us extraordinary folk doing the damn thing the best way we can. And to you newcomers out there, welcome, welcome, welcome. And of course, to my veterans, you're always welcome. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to today's show. The show that's really about love, because this is the day after Valentine's Day. And that's the day that everybody feels that they need to give extra love when we should be loving ourselves and each other every day, right? So today's topic is, are you giving love notes to yourself? Are you giving love notes to yourself? And before we get started, I just want to let you know, for the newcomers and to the veterans that's just returning, the show format is basically I talk on the topic for a little while. I give some type of business shout out or offer shout out, and I pull a card from one of my decks that I created, my Conversa card decks that I created, and talk on that for a minute. They're pretty much like kind of motivational, affirmational decks that I created and co-created with Spirit, they told me to say. And then I'll end it off with a little mindset or light meditation to get you prepared for the week to come. That is the show format. I'm here just to talk on different topics that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, or we see others deal with, so that we can have a different perception, a different outlook, a different angle to look at it, so we can apply it to our lives in a better way, in a more comfortable, more balanced way. That's what the show is all about. It's basically a talk show. So I hope that you stay with me until the end, because sometimes the end is where you get the real aha moment. Yet I know there are a lot of people with shortest attention spans nowadays with all these shorts and stuff. But the juiciness is in the long form of things, okay? So with all of that being said, let's get started. And first I want to tell you, I am pre-recording the show because I had a little rainstorm out here, and I live more so in the rural area, and yeah, the electric just decided to cut off. And I've been through those moments of electric being off, yet this is something that's not man-made, okay? So I don't know when it's coming back on. So I decided, well, I got some juice on my laptop. Let me just open up some type of record mechanism and pre-record this show for you so it gets out to you today. So without further ado, let's talk about it. And I'll be pulling more than one card today from my Love Notes to Self deck, just because this is what it's about. Love. Loving yourself today. Are you loving yourself? When you saw that title, what did it do to you? You know, how did it make you feel? Did it make you question yourself? Am I loving myself? Because see, love shows up in so many different ways and is interpreted in so many different ways to different people, right? depending on how it is that you received love throughout your life, rather it was through your parents, your guardians, your environment, your school, your friends, your family members. Did I say that? However it is that you received what we call the word love, that is your perception, right? And you don't know any better unless you experience it in different formats. Let's say it that way. Um, I have, experienced love in so many different ways, and sometimes people believe that they're loving you. Well, I'm not going to say believe that they're loving you. Sometimes people are loving you, but yet you don't perceive it as love. Yet that is the way they perceive it being, right? And let me just, expand on that a little bit. Like I said in the beginning, when we grow up, we see love from our guardians, our environment, how they express it. And therefore, unless we see otherwise, that's the way we're going to project it outwardly to ourselves, to the world, to whomever, right? So I decided, like, let me just pull up the word love. Let's see what we get out of it. Love is. This is me just Googling. Every now and then I do this on different shows, just for us all to look at things in a different light, right? So it says here, I just Googled love, and this is what came up. Love is a complex, fundamental human emotion and action characterized by deep affection, attachment, and a selfless commitment to the well-being of others. It acts as both a feeling and a choice, in, in, encompassing compassion, intimacy, and care across various forms: romantic, familiarity, platonic. It brings joy, purpose, and it's essential for social binding and survival. Wow. And survival. Like that last word, for social bonding and survival. Wow. What do you get from that? It says here, the components of love involves intense emotions such as, it's just kind of repeating that, well as cognitive and behavioral choices to support another person. Behavioral choices to support another. So when you look at those different definitions, that's why I said one word, many meanings, right? I speak a lot on the podcast about sometimes we need to look up words because we think the word means this and it means so much more. So when it says something about it is essential for social binding and survival, meaning like, okay, let's take for it. What comes to mind right away is like rejection. So rejection is not a form of acceptance. I believe that acceptance is a part of social binding, right? Acceptance is where you feel that you belong, or you feel like you might belong in a group, or that you're being loved, that you're being liked, right? That feeling. And when you're rejected, I guess that would bond to the word survival, because now you may be performing in a way to still stay attached to that social binding or that individual binding with a person out of survival, because you don't want to feel rejected. I don't know. That's what's coming to me. And a lot of times it says here, it is often described as a willingness to sacrifice for the benefit of another, or a sweet surrender that fosters connection. Wow. I believe that just tied into what I said. That word sacrifice for the benefit of another. That is what people describe as love. Yet the word sacrifice is really, really, that's a big word. Because when you sacrifice for another out of love and you don't receive the feeling back, right? How does that feel to you? Now that you've been sacrificed loving someone that hasn't loved you back, or maybe is not capable of loving you back, or maybe they don't want to love you back in the same way. How does that make you feel? Does it make you go into the whole survival mode and make you do things that you would otherwise never do just to receive the feeling of love and acceptance? Or does it make you look at love in a different way and ask the questions like, okay, maybe it was just meant for me to show this person love, to teach them love, to teach them a different form of love, and how love can show up in their life if they allow it to. So it's just so many different ways we could look at this word love. We can project it outward and project it inward. So let's discuss that for a second. Inwardly, love. What does it mean to, taken from that definition of love, what does it mean to you to love yourself? See, when we look up this definition, and I purposely looked up this definition because I really wanted to know, what is it that, the world is saying that love is supposed to mean, And the world is basically saying that love is maybe more important to be selfless and sacrifice and show another person love. So as a mother, showing your kids love and no matter what, showing them love. Rather, you don't feel the love being returned to you from your kids in the way that you're giving it, yet you're still teaching them a form of love. And now, so in that aspect, as a parent, as a person, as a spirit, and as a human being, you have to first love yourself. You have to first pour into yourself. Because if you don't do that, and if you're not strong in your own self-love, then all the things I just said, as far as people not giving you the love or rejecting you, now you'll start questioning yourself. Now you'll start asking yourself, what's wrong with me? Am I lovable? Why is it that I'm giving love from the heart and I'm not receiving it back in the same way? Or I don't feel like this person loves me, yet I love them so much. When you learn to turn that love inwardly and you give subtle love notes to yourself on a consistent basis, then I'm not going to say it becomes okay in a format that, okay, you should accept people that you give love to disregard your love or to step all over it or take it for granted. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that when you constantly give love notes to yourself, you become okay with the way everybody else shows up in the world. And from that point, you make your decision on how you want to move forward and how you show up in the world to these same people or to new people, right? Because we're all here to teach lessons to each other. We're all here to help each other grow. We're all here to help each other see our worth, our value, see what it is within us that is so powerful that we hold, that we sometimes allow others to dismantle. We sometimes allow others to define our power. And when we do those things, that is not giving love notes to ourselves. That is allowing people to take the love notes from us, right? And when I created my love notes to self deck, at first it was like, I really meant it to be released yesterday, to be honest. But yesterday I wound up just loving on myself. I didn't go nowhere. I was supposed to go somewhere and I wound up working too late. The night before, I actually wound up working until I think I got done at like 9:30 in the morning working on these projects. And I decided that, I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to love on myself today. I just want to stay in and just do nothing and just watch feel-good movies and relax and eat my chocolate peppermint cookies that my sister brought me and just relax. And that's what I did. And I just turned on, Netflix or was it Prime, watched a couple of movies and then went to sleep. And that was it. And I felt good this morning. So that was me giving love notes to myself physically. A lot of times we go through life and we're so concerned with everybody else feeling that we love them and showing up for everybody else that we neglect ourselves. Showing up for work and showing up for creating things, showing up for building things, we neglect ourselves. And that means that we're not loving ourselves. Yet we'll go all out for everybody else, for everything else, for the job, for just everything else. And then when it gets to us, we say, oh, I don't have time. How is it that you don't have time for yourself? How is it that you can't carve out 30 to an hour a day for yourself, me time? How is that? Like, you're not showing up for you, but you're showing up for everybody else. And then you wonder why you're burnt out. You wonder why you're drained. You wonder why you're moody, you're angry, you know what I'm saying? You're depressed, you're miserable. All of these things really stem from being in, as the definition says, survival mode. Survival mode. Those are the repercussions of being in survival mode, of depriving yourself of love. You're depleting and giving it out to everybody else but you. I know y'all hear that airplane in the background, but like I said, I'm recording in a different way. See, I'm getting it done. This message was trying not to come out. I'm sitting here in the dark right now until they fix the power again. But I don't know how long that's going to be because it's raining and stuff like that yet, because my heart was filled with so much love today. I'm like, I don't care what. I'm going to get this show out because I know there are people that could utilize this show to fill themselves up with love and to remind them that it's okay to give yourself love. It's okay to just, go silent for a minute from everything and just love on you. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And if somebody calls you selfish because of that, maybe they need to look at themselves, because we all need to replenish ourselves at some point. This life can be a real challenge. And the only way that we can, as this love thing say, survive is if we learn to love ourselves. If we learn how to replenish. If we learn how love shows up for us. Like, what does that mean? Loving on yourself can simply mean, just like I said, just taking time out to just, do nothing but just chill and just, lay in the bed and watch some feel-good movies. Not no horror flicks and stuff like that, but just some feel-good movies that make you smile, right? Not because of anything else, but you just want to just chill and watch some movies and eat some snacks, and that's it. Right? Loving yourself can be you just soaking in a bubble bath, which I'm going to be doing later. TMI. It could be just that. Just turning on some music and putting some candles around and just relaxing. Relaxing your muscles. Relaxing your body. And just detaching from the world. Not because you want to forget about any responsibilities, yet because you just want to be with you, right? Loving yourself can be going in the kitchen and cooking yourself a 5-star gourmet meal with the music playing and a mocktail or a glass of wine or a beer or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Just enjoying cooking. And you may not know how to cook, but it can be just something as small as making a sandwich. You know what I mean? Just throwing some meat on there and taking your time while you're doing it and putting some lettuce and tomatoes on there and a side of chips or something. And just sitting there and just eating very slow. Not gobbling it all down. That's just you sitting with yourself, giving yourself some love. So I want to look at some of the cards with you guys. I want to pull some of these cards and randomly pull them and see what comes out for us. I'm just going to randomly pick maybe 3 different cards and we'll talk on them. Okay? So you may hear the computer clicking. Let me see what this one is. Okay, wow. So the first one I pulled is called Worthy. Isn't that ironic? You don't have, wow, this is crazy. You don't have to earn rest, love, or peace. Isn't that crazy? I just literally talked on this. The universe don't be playing. The universe always give confirmation. I'm going to read this again. This is taken from my Love Notes to Self deck, and it says worthy. You don't have to earn rest, love, or peace. Didn't I just talk about this in a different way? I just said, okay, the rest part is when I just was talking about chilling and just watching Netflix movies and just, eating snacks. The love part is I've been talking about that all along, just different ways you can love on yourself. The peace part is just soaking in the tub, just having peace, just being in a serenity environment that you created for yourself, however that looks. You don't have to earn it, right? Because you're worthy of it. You're worthy of it. I'm going to say it again. You are worthy of rest, love, and peace. If you don't take the time to rest, then guess what? your body is going to make you rest through some type of sickness. It's wintertime. You might catch a bad cold or something else worse could happen. You know what I mean? And this is not me putting it out there in the universe, but this is me making you acknowledge that if you don't rest when you know you need rest, your body will make you rest. Trust and believe me about that rather. And depending on how much rest you need, your body, the universe will create a situation that will sit you down to make you get that amount of rest. As crazy as this sounds, but this is how it goes. Love. If you don't feel worthy of love, you're going to go through some lessons until you know you're worthy of love, until you get to the point that you're like, wait a minute, hold up, wait a minute. I don't deserve this treatment. I don't deserve to feel this way. This does not feel good. So this can't be love. Until you learn what love is supposed to feel like for you, you're going to be faced with different situations, different people, different forms of rejection until you acknowledge that you are worthy of love, peace. Again, until you acknowledge that you are worthy of having peace, you will experience different chaotic situations. Rather it's just you on a job or rather it's you and your environment, rather it's you and your household, you're going to continue to experience drama until you realize that this does not feel good. And I just want some peace. I don't have to be a part of this. I don't have to be a part of drama and chaos and attached to people that constantly complain or that's constantly complaining about how everything is wrong. Or I don't even have to be attached to watching the news, watching the television that throws on a lot of negative stuff to infuse my energy with negativity that causes me to worry and causes me to stress. And now I don't have peace. So I'm worthy of peace. So how is it that I can detach? And getting the courage to detach. That is what worthiness is about. Worthy, you feeling worthy is you calling your power back. Is you loving on yourself enough to say, no, I am worthy of rest, love, and peace. I am. I don't care what anybody else thinks. Because we are all individuals, right? And if we're all individuals, that means that we all should be showing up in different ways. And that different way is showing up the way you were created to show up. Not how everybody else expects you to show up. Not how everybody else wants you to show up. Yet how you want to show up. What feels good to you? What feels good to you? You're worthy of it. And if it is that you have people in your life that you don't feel the need or feel the desire, not say need, let's say need. We're going to take need out of it. Need is a lack word. So feel the desire to show up for, then maybe that's not your social binding person, group, or thing, job. You get what I'm saying? Call back your worth, guys. My visionary dreamers. Call back your worth. However you need to do that. So let's go pull another card. Okay. Again, this is from my Love Notes to Self deck, and this deck was created for you. It's 44 cards in it, and it's created for you to just pick a card on a daily basis and pretty much feel it and heal that part of you, and just be mindful of how you are walking in this time space reality, how you walk in your path, and to be mindful that you always walk with your worth, that you always acknowledge it and honor yourself with worth. Any card that I pull is a reminder of how you should be showing up or giving love notes to yourself. So let's pull another card. Let me see what this card says. Oh, I like this one. Oh, and by the way, that card was number 12. 1 and 2 equals 3. 3 is the number of spirit, of creativity, of, you making sure, okay, you're worthy of creativity. So expressing yourself through creativity. So I want to end that worthy card off with that. Challenge yourself to see what it is that you have in you that you can do that is creative, because when you're in your creative mode, that is a healing energy. That's why I'm so creative, and that's what keeps me so grounded and so youthful, because I'm always creating something. Okay, so I want you guys today, throughout the week, to ask yourself, how am I creative? Creativity is in so many formats. It's not always in artist format. It's in so many formats. So what does creativity look like for you? That is your question for the week, okay? We're going to move on to the next card. Grace. Grace. Extend yourself grace. You're human. Extend yourself grace. Extend yourself grace. You're human. Extend yourself grace. You're human. In other words, you are allowed to give grace to yourself because you are human. You are human. So you don't have to wait for anybody else to give you grace. Give yourself grace. I know that you are doing the best that you can with the tools that you have, with the knowledge that you have acquired throughout your life, with the wisdom and the knowledge that you have acquired throughout your life. So even if somebody else doesn't give you grace, and you know that you're doing your best, give yourself grace, regardless if they do. It's not up to them. It's up to you. Remember, this is Love Notes to Self. Give yourself grace. The number on the card is 24. 2 and 4 equals 6. 6, they say 6. Oh, 666 is evil. No, they're lying. 6, the number 6. Think about it. 3 plus 3 equals 6, which means some type of balance has to happen. And the number 6, balance, means balancing your spirituality with the material world. Don't lean too much towards either side. That's when it becomes evil. If you're too religious and you're not, making sure that you take care of yourself, that's unbalanced. If you're too much worrying about the materialistic worlds and what you have and what people think you got and all of this stuff, that's an imbalance, because now you're not attached to the spiritual realm of things. If you're worrying about having more than and not being grateful for what you have and focusing on what you have until things can get greater, or if things are greater and you are looking down on the people that don't have, that's an imbalance. Okay? That's when it becomes evil. We want to balance out both sides of the fence. We want to make sure that we are tapped in to our spiritual side and to our well-being materialistic side, meaning like taking care of household and things of that nature the best way we can. The best way we can. Okay? And that is where we come in with the grace. We want to give ourselves grace. We want to be, I'll tell you what, this is something that I do for me. At the end of the day, there are things, at the top of the day, I always, make sure I go through what I planned last night to get accomplished, right? And then at the end of the day, I give myself grace if I did not get a chance to accomplish the things that I set out to do. And in that giving grace, what that looks like is like, I'll go through the list. Okay, we did do this. We did. First, I might say, oh man, I meant to get this done. I didn't get that done. And then it'll click on and be like, wait a minute now. But you did do this. You did finish that. You did get that done. And then I'll say, great job. Great job. I'll give myself that. I'll give myself hand claps. I'll give myself a high five. And I'll be like, yeah, you did that today. You accomplished a lot. I don't care if I had a list of 10 and I did 3. The point is, it got done, right? I was productive in some type of way. And even if I just rested that day and I haven't had any rest for a couple of weeks, that is still giving myself grace for accomplishing that. So you're human. You are allowed to give yourself grace. When things get tough and things get overwhelmed and people get overwhelming towards you or, just put everything on you, you're allowed to say, stop, 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 stop. I am human. And I choose not to take care of this or take care of that. If it's overwhelming to you, eventually it will break you. And so you got to start looking at it like, is it worth breaking me? Whatever that is. Rather it's your job, rather it's, if you're a business owner, entrepreneur, whatever. You have to acknowledge, how is it that you can give yourself grace? What is it that you can pull back on a little bit? What is it that you can stop doing? Doing. That's it. What is it that you can stop doing? For me, giving myself grace was me shutting the world out for 6 months. Now, a lot of people can't do that. I did it before for 10 months. And I went away to a yoga meditation retreat and stayed there for 10 months and shut the world out. And when I say shut the world out, I don't mean I was just this hermit and just didn't talk to nobody. No, that wasn't it. I talked to people where I was at. Yet I chose to go to a different environment where I knew no one, where no one knew me, where I could just be with me and still be in the midst of people if I wanted to. I made that choice, right? And I chose not to talk to people, you know what I'm saying? Except for, of course, my core, my mom, my son, my daughter, my just, core people, that I had to make sure I check up on. And it was very freeing. And as this 6 months have been for me, giving myself grace, acknowledging my life and things that work and things that don't work and how I want to move forward in life and all of these things. That is me taking a time out, acknowledging that I'm human and that what is not working for me, that it's okay to release it. Who is not working for me, it's okay for me to release them. It doesn't mean that I'm a mean person. It doesn't mean that they are mean people, whoever I chose to release. It just means that maybe this is the season that they don't fit in my life. Everybody comes in and out your life for different reasons and different seasons. And when we acknowledge that and we are okay with that, that's how we can give ourselves grace to know, like, wow, okay, I learned this or I learned that. Grace is when you look at your past, right? And or some thoughts may come up from your past that you may have felt as you're maturing, like, wow, why did I do that? You know what I'm saying? Why was I attached to that person? Or why did I do that thing? Or why did I allow this to happen? Or all of these things, right? All of these thoughts. As you get older, it's going to happen. You're going to have these thoughts that's going to bombard you. And this is where grace comes in. Grace allows you to say, you know what? Hey, that was my journey. That was past tense, my journey. And so, okay, that's who I was then, and this is who I am now. There's nothing to be ashamed about. Nothing to be ashamed about. Trust me, I know from my own experience, every now and then the thought might creep in and be like, ugh, why did I even align myself with that person? Ugh. And then I'll stop myself, be like, But I learned that my value and my worth, because I didn't know better then at that time. That was a part of me, but that is not me, right? That is what is building me. This is how you learn who you are. When you go through, life and things happen and people happen, and you can look back and say, wow. You can question yourself, but just question yourself with grace. Question yourself like, wow, that's where I was back then. That's deep. And sometimes we say, if I would have known what I know now back then, yet at the end of the day, if you would have known what you know now back then, you wouldn't be who you are and where you are right now, right? Because you wouldn't have learned it. You wouldn't have known better because that thing didn't happen, or those people didn't happen, or that person didn't happen, or that job didn't happen. Whatever it was that makes you feel like, why did I even do that or work there or whatever? But everything comes in to build you. I'm gonna read y'all the definition of grace. Let me just pull grace. Grace, let me see, defined as the free, unmerited favor and love of God, representing a gift rather than an earned privilege. Wow. That's basically what we're saying. Let me see what else I can pull from this. No. I'll just leave it there. I'll just leave it there. It is the key words I took out of this definition was unmerited favor and love of God. The free. So this is free to you, representing a gift rather than earned privilege. So when you're giving grace to yourself, you're giving a gift to yourself. You're giving a gift of love that the Creator has given you. That's what grace is all about. You giving a free gift to yourself to say, you know what? Thank you for letting me learn that lesson. Thank you for letting me see the value within me. And it's not to say that you are better than or you're bigger than or none of that. Yet it is there to serve you as an individual and your worth, and to show you your worth, your value. You get what I'm saying? Because everybody is at different levels at different times in their life. So it's not for us to judge anybody's journey, anybody's path. Sometimes I would, see the potential in people and that they may not see in themselves. I talk about this all the time because that's what I'm here to do. That is my perfect purpose in life. I am an advocate for people. I am a soul number 9. Maybe one day we'll go deeper into that. Yet I am a soul number 9, and soul number 9s are advocates. They are the people that are here to pull the potential out of people and help them along their path, or just kind of help guide them. Not do it for them, but shine a light on it. Shine a light on their hidden talents, their hidden gifts, their help to be a problem solver for that person that can't see something that's right in front of their face. That's who I am. That's why I'm ADionne, your dream pusher. And then sometimes, because I have that ability to see that within a person, in my past, I used to be so excited and try to rush it. Like, oh my gosh, you could just do this. You got that ability. Oh my gosh, you're so talented, blah, 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 blah. Yet, sometimes people weren't ready for that. They weren't ready. They weren't finished learning whatever lessons they needed to learn, whatever things they needed to release, whatever way they needed to learn how to give themselves grace and how to love on themselves, or whatever way they had to learn their worth. They had to learn that they were worthy and valuable of the very thing that I was able to see that they couldn't within themselves, right? So I had to learn that. I had to learn to just, okay, let me pull back, because they may not be ready for this. Maybe I could suggest it. Oh, the power came back on, guys. It scared me. Yet I'm glad that I did the show. I'm glad that I'm recording now so that y'all can have it. It's 46 minutes in. So I'm going to pull one more card, and then I'm going to go ahead and do a meditation in the show. Let's see what this says. Okay. Self-trust. You can trust yourself again. Slowly counts. You can trust yourself again. Slowly counts. It is the number 27, which is 7 and 2 is 9. Wow. Spirit funny. 9, we just talked about what 9 means, the number 9, so I don't think I need to go over that again. Yet, self-trust. Trust yourself, guys. Slowly. You trusting it. I just literally said, like, sometimes, people are not ready to embrace the very talent and gift that they have within inside of them. So it's okay to do it slowly. It's okay to embrace it slowly. Yet, trust yourself. You can trust yourself again. And what I want to say from the, you can trust yourself again, is that, I'll use me for example. I have created a lot of different things in my life, and things have been put on pause. That's not to say, oh, I'm a failure because I had to put things on pause. That means that it wasn't time for that thing to come to pass. Maybe I wasn't prepared. Maybe I wasn't ready. Maybe I didn't finish whatever I need to finish within me. I didn't have the grace yet to give myself. I didn't know my worth enough. I didn't know how to value myself enough. I didn't trust myself enough when I created those things. It doesn't mean that they're not valid, right? It just means that when you get to the point that you learn how to love yourself, you learn your worth, how worthy you are. You learn your value. You learn how to trust yourself without allowing anybody else putting doubt in your heart, in your mindset, without allowing anything that you see, whether it's on television, whether it's on social media, that you don't allow those things to take away your self-trust. that you don't allow everybody else's expectation of you to take away your self-trust. Because at the end of the day, it's you and you. At the end of the day, it's you and you that's going to walk through your path. It's you and you that's going to die. I hate to sound like that, but at the end of the day, it's you and you. I'll share this quick story. I was in Panera Bread the other day, and I like to go to different coffee shops and things of that nature to get out of my home, space, just to kind of be in a different environment, stimulate my mind in a different way. And I seem to gain more ideas in that way. So I was in Panera Bread, and I was in there for the second time. And it's this guy that was in there the day before. He acknowledged, he's like, hey, we talk. So then we get in a little small chat, and it was funny because I'm working on a Love Notes to Self deck, and we both asked each other what we did. And I was telling them, and I was saying how I was working on a tool to help people out to learn how to kind of give themselves a little in-house good therapy or whatever. And he was involved in education, and he was saying how he's like a supervisor, manager or whatever, and he was saying how he was telling his staff, like, okay, don't overwork yourself for this job. And he said most of his staff is like married with kids and things of that nature. So he was saying how he just broke it down to one of his staff members was like, okay, let me tell you what's going to happen if you die at your job. Because he said somebody literally died, had a heart attack at her desk. They rolled her out to the ambulance came, and before she could get out the parking lot, she died. That's crazy. That's how much stress this woman was under. She died at her desk. That's crazy. So he went on to tell me how he told the employee or the worker or whatever that slow down, give herself some me time. Learn how to give yourself some me time, which is grace, right? Which is self-love. And he said, because if you don't start doing that, I'm going to tell you what could happen. You could one day just die at your desk, just like the other lady did. And then after that, what's going to happen? The ambulance is going to come get your body. Your family's going to come and going to say, oh, identify the body. They're going to have a funeral. Half of the time, family fighting over the money and all of this stuff. And that's just that. And how much have you enjoyed life? How much have you loved on yourself through that life before you sacrifice for everybody else? Because like the guy was saying, he's like, you show up to work, so now you're an employee. You go home, now you're a husband. Then you got kids, then you got to be a dad. Like, at what point do you pull back and say, you know what? Hey, kids, hey, wife, hey, job. I am taking this time to myself to love on me. I am taking this time to myself to give me grace. Because why? I am worthy of it. I am worthy of giving myself some time to love on me. I don't care if it's a day that I just lock myself in the room or go to a coffee shop or just whatever it is. Go to a walk in the park, wherever you are in the world. If you somewhere in the wintertime, I don't know. But hey, some people like the snow. Yet, getting out in nature. Y'all hear the birds chirping? Let me see. I hope y'all can hear it. Birds always, the birds be so loud, and the roosters and everything. My neighbor has chickens and stuff like that. But it sounds so good, though, hearing that, because it's like, I listen to them and I'm like, listen to how free they are. They're just out there chirping, flying around, like, la-di-dee, go eat when they want to eat and just, build their little nest, and they just don't have a care in the world. Well, I guess in the bird world, maybe they do. I don't know. But from the looks of things, it's like they don't have a care in the world. So I challenge you guys. Those are 3 cards that I just pulled from the Love Notes to Self deck. So that's what I'm pushing. prayerfully, I'll get it done today, and you'll see the link at the bottom. Always check the links, the description of each podcast show, because you never know what kind of link I'm going to throw in there. And if you like what you hear, that you can go ahead and purchase it for yourself. So I'm releasing the digital format first, and there'll be a wait list for the physical card deck. I finally narrowed down a great company, and we're getting that together. So if you like it, definitely check it out. And I'll have more card decks rolling out as I complete them. Okay. All for helping you to have a tool at home to be able to just remind yourself. Pull a card a day or two a day just to remind yourself randomly. Like, how is it to that you can show up for you, right? Before you give the rest of the world a piece of your pie. Be the first slice for you, okay? So with all that being said, guys, I'm gonna end the show, and we just go out with a light little mindset meditation, okay? I want you to take a deep breath in, relax where you are. And as I say, if you're in a car or anything, if you can pull over, pull over. If not, just listen and just relax your body. Don't get too relaxed though. And just think about everything that was said today, and envision how it would look to love on you. Give yourself a nice little tight hug right where you are right now. Well, if you're not driving, give yourself a nice tight hug, a self hug. Just give yourself a hug and rock back and forth. Love on yourself right now. And make sure that you check in with yourself. Looking at mirror daily. Every day you're brushing your teeth, right? I hope when you're brushing your teeth, look at yourself in the eyes and just say how much you love yourself. Tell yourself how proud you are of yourself. Remind yourself that you are doing the best you are capable of. And if you believe that you can do more and you can do better, call out to the universe. Ask the universe. Show me where I can do more. Show me how I can do more for myself so that I can have more to give to myself and more to give to the world in a balanced way. Show me where I am unbalanced in my life, in my mindset, in my feelings, in my emotions, in my love for self, and in my love for others. Show me. And then show me how it is that I can do better in that area. Show me I'm open and receptive to learn more about me, and learn more about how it is that is best suited for me to show up for others. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Let it all out through the mouth. One more time, in through the nose. Let it out through the mouth. I really, really pray that you learn to give love notes to yourself, that you learn to give yourself grace. You are not who you used to be. You are the current person right now that is listening to this podcast. And this current person that you are right now have the knowledge to know that you choose. You choose every day how you want to show up, who you want to show up for, when you want to show up for them versus when you want to show up for you. In a balanced way, not in an egotistical way, not in a negative way, yet in a balanced way. Because at the end of the day, we all can use companionship, however that may look to you, in whichever format. We all can use some companionship, some communication with others, keep our life balanced. Yet, sometimes we don't need it with the people that we believe we need it with. And we have to be okay with that. If someone is not making you feel joy whenever you're around them or whenever you talk to them, yet they're making you feel anxiety, they're making you feel heavy or feel negative emotions, maybe that person is not for you. Maybe that environment is not for you. Maybe that job is not for you. We're not here to die at our desk. We're not here to go into depression over a thing or any type of rejection. We're here to enjoy life, to learn from experiences. We're here to find ourselves, find our true purpose in this time, space, and reality. Find out our gifts and our talents and embrace them full on without allowing anybody else to dictate or give their opinions and put doubt in our hearts and our minds for something that is so dear to our hearts that we feel strong about, as long as it's positive and as long as it's not bringing harm to others. Nobody knows your purpose but you. Nobody knows how you feel about things but you, unless you tell them. There are people like me that can see, yet at the end of the day, what I see in a person may not be what they want to do. What I see in a person may take time for them to get to the point that they're comfortable enough to embrace it, right? So we have to be okay when we can see the potential in people and they can't. We have to be okay with people not accepting our opinions, or we have to be okay with people that's doubting us. We have to be okay with that because that's their perception, right? You get to choose yours. You get to choose grace. You get to choose your worth, your value, and your self-trust. So I'm going to end the show off with that. It's okay to trust yourself again slowly. Take your time with you. It's okay, boo-boo. So with all that being said, this is ADionne, your dream pusher, your lifeguard, saving you from yourself, from the world, and from some real bullshit. and you are tuned in to Chronicles of Living podcast show, the show for everyday people doing everyday things, living everyday life. You know us extraordinary folk doing a damn thing the best way we can. And until next week, I love you guys. Take care and make sure you give some love notes to yourself. Give yourself grace and get some me time. Get some me time. Get you some of that me time. I love you guys. Peace.
The Chronicles of Livin.
We can be whatever we dream.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Chronicles of Livin podcast, where you find only the highest vibrations. Remember, you are extraordinary. And if you're pursuing your dreams, we're proud of you. Because the best part of life is when you decide to live.
Something better is always possible if you're willing to work for it and fight for it.
Stay updated with ADionne by visiting chroniclesoflivin.com or stay connected through social media by following @Chronicles of Livin. Until next time, your dream pusher, ADionne.